Out of control in the overheated meth lab, a timeout room was nearby. Conversely, it explains why some Canadians went south to contribute to the war effort on both sides. From Underground Railroad to Rebel Refuge tells the story of the flight and history of fugitives from south of the border and how Canadians dealt with them over the course of many decades. Before the conflict, an estimated 40,000 formerly enslaved and free black people settled in what became Ontario. When the war broke out, some American white men, motivated by money, crossed the border to enlist young Canadians to take up arms in Union Blue. In all, about 20,000 men from British North America joined the Union and Confederate armies, some as a result of trickery, but others for their own reasons. Buying agents from both the North and South came north to buy supplies to feed their armies and a large number of horses to move them. There were also American spies and operatives who worked from bases in Toronto and Montreal. Some were funded by large amounts of Confederate money to distract the North with daring missions launched from its back door. They too were tolerated by Canadians, if not welcomed. The border proved porous, and many who chose to cross it died in each other's country. From their vantage point above the fray that played out below them, Canadians developed sympathies and prejudices in response to events in which they became entangled. An intriguing four-way relationship existed for a time between Canada, the United States, Britain, and the Confederacy, in which Canada and Britain developed sympathy for the South and Southerners, coupled with distrust, dislike, and fear of the Union. The Civil War helped push Britain's North American colonies toward Confederation for fear that victorious Union guns might be directed north to finish a conquest the aggressive young republic failed to accomplish in the War of 1812. Following the Civil War, the small community of Niagara-on-the-Lake, a mere stone's throw from the border, became a home for former Confederate generals and other Southerners who might have been tried for treason and hanged had they remained in the United States. North of the border, in the shadow of the American Republic, they reconnected with their former president, Jefferson Davis, who found refuge elsewhere in Canada and was hailed by the public wherever he went. The high-profile Confederates who were so readily accommodated in Niagara-on-the-Lake and in other communities eventually returned to the United States when they felt it was safe to do so. Other Southerners stayed, however, content with the new lives they found. Among those who remained in Canada were the wealthy and influential Mazique and Manigault families of South Carolina. The first Mazique settled in London in 1866, and other relatives and friends followed, abandoning their genteel way of life, the people they'd enslaved, and large plantations a world away. They were readily accepted by Londoners who likely shared their views about the supremacy of the white race, but were more discreet about it than the well-educated and financially independent newcomers. Two of the fugitive family members played a key role in South Carolina's secession, making it the first state to leave the Union in the prelude to war. Two leaders of the racist Ku Klux organization who were wanted for murder chose Canada, one settling in London, the other in Niagara. Here, then, is the story of the northward flight of black people, draft dodgers, the Confederate president and his prominent officials and generals, some leaders of the Ku Klux terror organization, and of wealthy citizens unable or unwilling to accept changes in the lives they had known. All found refuge in a friendly and much calmer place mere steps away from a republic in turmoil. For them, the attic beckoned. And while some refugees remained in Canada only briefly, others adapted to their new surroundings well and chose to live out their days in a land that extended them the welcome mat. A note about place names and other matters. Canada is the term often employed for British North America.